perfect. So thanks a lot for joining today's webinar. I'm Carmen, Customer Success Team Lead at StoryChief. And today I'm very lucky to be joined by PJ. Maybe you
Hi,
can
Carmen.
introduce yourself.
Yes, I am AI and data engineer at StoryChief. So I do everything when it comes to our data warehousing and data at StoryChief, but also I develop all the services at StoryChief that use AI. So both generative AI, the AI power mode, but also some other stuff here and there. So cool to be here today with you, Carmen. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So before I start, I just want to remind you to send your questions to the Q&A option that you have below during the webinar as well. Don't wait until the end, because then we can, by the end of the webinar, we will have some time to answer the questions. If we don't have time to cover all of them, we will probably contact you later today or tomorrow just with an answer. But don't, as soon as you have a question, just don't wait until the end. Okay. So during today's webinar, we are going to talk about how our AI can improve your content processes, how it can actually create and automate a content strategy, how it can help you create content, blog articles, socials, newsletters, web pages, everything that you want, but also can help you, for example, with keyword research or even with competitor research as well. We also have that. And we are going to see also at the end a sneak peek that PJ is going to give us into what is coming next. That is also related to the AI. So let's get started. I'm just going to share my screen. Yeah, I already covered most of it, but we are first going to talk about why we decided to build our own AI power mode, and how to automate these content strategies, how to do topic research and generate content, keyword research, competitor research, and then at the end, this recommendation.
Sounds great.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting webinar. Let's start with you, PJ. What can you tell us about how AI is started with StoryChief?
Yeah, a little bit of history about the AI power mode and StoryChief. We first launched the V1 of the AI power mode back in December 2022, only a couple of days after the release of ChatGPT, actually. So we were already researching and experimenting with generative AI in the months before that. And yeah, I think that the challenges from back then until now, they're so different. Back then, the main challenges were, okay, this thing can produce text, super cool. Let's try some things. Sometimes it listens to me, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't really sound that organic. How can we prompt engineer that it sounds and creates things that we like? But right now, everybody has been exposed to generative content, right? And everybody has learned to identify it. I think we've been scrolling, reading articles, and we see articles with a lot of ignites and empowers, and we know, okay, this is generative AI, and sometimes that doesn't sit well. So I think right now the main challenge of today is how can I make sure that if I use generative AI, that it sounds personal, that it sounds human, that it sounds like something that you've written for your audience. Yeah. And not only people have learned to recognize that, also, of course, notoriously the search engines, right? Google search notoriously has been pushing against content that is mass-generated, generic, AI-driven content. And what we do at StoryChief and where we are a difference maker is we're going to make sure that it's personal, it's tailored, that it has more context, that it's not just mass-generated, it's actually content that sounds human and that the search engines actually like.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
And yeah, I've already touched upon a couple of reasons what we do different compared to other models. I think a big one is security, of course, right? In today's day and age, we literally store no prompt information, no personal information. Everything is GDPR compliant, and that's not always the case with other tools, definitely not free tools. A big selling point is how seamlessly embedded the generative AI and AI assistant is in creating content with StoryChief's editor. You can select a paragraph, change it. It's no copy pasting. It's all very seamless, very easy. You will show this later, I presume. And then what I already talked about, right? Plagiarism free, always up to date. It's not, our generative AI does not have like a content gap. We're going to use extra information. We're going to scrape the web. We're going to use extra context to make sure that yeah, we use the latest information when it comes to topics. And we developed a lot of these pipelines and processes ourselves. Everything is a lot of the things are built in-house. And we're also constantly on the lookout for new technologies, new improvements. If you read AI news right now, there's so much new stuff. Everybody's trying to compete. We're going to look, okay, what new technologies can we integrate that actually help your content marketing journey, and which ones do not? And we're constantly trying to upgrade that and update it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's where we make a difference.
Yeah, thanks for that. I think it was needed as well for all of us to know. So what we are going to do now, if it's okay for you, PK, is we are gonna see this in practice. We are gonna put this into practice. So we are gonna see how to generate these content strategies, how to generate content, how to do the keyword research, competitor research, and how to optimize the content based on AI. So I'm just gonna jump into our workspace. What we are gonna use today is Airbnb. I think everyone knows this company. They have a really cool service, a really good product, and I think we can just play around and see what the AI comes up with, right? So I would say the first step to set up AI for your company would be just navigate to Power Mode, and then you can go into company intelligence.
Yeah.
And what do we see here?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I talked about. It's personalization. We're going to try to extract some key features and pieces of information about your business to make the generated content personal to you and your business. One of the things we extract is company description. What's your value proposition? What are your values, your mission? What are there a couple of services that we can include here? So that's a good first one. Then the one that I like the most, your brand voice. We're going to literally read content that you've written in the past and try to mimic your writing style, capture that, so that if you generate content, that it is in the style that you write. And you're not limited to one, right? You can change it, have multiple ones for different types of channels. So that's really neat.
Exactly.
Then content pillars, that's like key topics that you write about. So again, very customizable. If there is something new that you started writing about, you can add that here. And the neat thing is that later we will also generate ideas and content specifically for these topics.
Exactly.
And then target audience, of course, we're always going to tailor the post or content that you write for your target audience.
Yeah, your ideal customer.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. And how did we end up with this? How can we fill this in?
You can fill this in manually, but we usually use the AI wizard for this, and it just literally takes one link and tries to extract this. So we can maybe try this out.
Yeah, perfect. Let's click here on generate content strategy. So this brings us to the wizards. That's the way we call it.
Yeah.
And so here we already see the name of our company, and then we can add a company page, right?
Yeah. And you can do this with your homepage, even your blog. But what I usually recommend is using a About Us page, because that contains a lot of information about where you come from, the history of your company. For example, here we took the About Us page of Airbnb. So we see some history about it. So let's enter it into the wizard and let's see what it gives.
Yeah, we just copy paste it here and then let's go.
Yeah, so we're going to, in the background, read the site, read everything about it, and try to capture the things that we just talked about. And here it is already. So yeah, I think spot on, right? It's here you have the mission of Airbnb. It also talks about some of the features of Airbnb, air cover, for example. So
yeah, you can also edit if you want to add extra information. Then you can really change anything that you want to really make sure that this is the way you want the company to be seen. And then we can go to the next step. We have find the target audiences, right?
Yeah, indeed, and it goes from family vacationers to remote workers, so B2B, B2C. It tries to really capture all the target audiences that you could write for.
Yeah,
so that's
exactly.
nice.
We can also add another one, right? Just to see how it works. So we can just click on this, and then what option would you maybe want to add? Let's say unique travels.
Yeah. Or solo travelers, for example.
Yeah, solo travelers. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Let's move into the next step. We have the content pillars.
Yeah, indeed. And if you read Airbnb's blog, you see that these are things that they have written about in the past. So
Yeah,
I think it's
exactly.
spot on.
Perfect. Let's just finish with the brand voice.
Yeah, indeed. And here you see community focus. That's truly
Yeah,
the writing style of
exactly.
Airbnb, right?
Yeah.
So it
You
captured
can also
that.
change it
You can change this. Yes,
or
definitely.
move the toggles as well.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so let's just save it. So all this information, all this data will be saved into this company intelligence.
Yeah.
And right now, if you look at the button, now it's generating this content strategy. And it will be a mix of content, which is social posts, blog articles, and you can do this, you can trigger this again multiple times, right? You can do this every week, every month. The more you do it, the more content you will have to publish.
Yeah, and what's
do you
actually
have any tips?
Yeah, well, what's actually happening in the background is it's not like you just ask ChatGPT or another language model for ideas. It's literally going to, for these topics, do research. It's going to look at what our competitors writing about, what are the trends in the industry and all of that. And it's going to take all that information and really get you ideas and content that's not only relevant for you, because it also is going to check whether the content is relevant for you as a business, but also make sure that the IDs are liked by Google search algorithm and stuff like that. And a tip, something that we heard one of our clients do, is that you just get one content pillar, you generate it, and you have a week worth of content.
Yeah.
And then the next week you do it again with another content pillar, and that can give you content for months, essentially.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So what you can do is just remove all the content pillars. You only leave one, the one that you want to create content for, and then you just regenerate it, right? So once you do that, the AI will create all this content only specifically for that specific content pillar that you have selected. So then you know that all the calendar that has been written will be about that topic. And you can do it again the next week with other different content pillars. So really you can get months worth of content.
Yep.
In our case, you see that we get here the notification that the content calendar has been created. We see also here the button to go and have a look. So let's have a look quickly at what has happened. So we see a full week, probably more than a week full of content, which is a mix of articles, some social posts as well.
Yeah. And for example, treehouse glamping, it's such a specific one that if you would ask ChatGPT for examples, probably it wouldn't have come up with this. This is probably because this is trending in travel blogs lately. So it's cool that it suggested such a niche one.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And you can do whatever you want with it, right? You can just publish it right away. You can tweak it with or without AI. You can use it as a inspiration source. You can really do as much as you want, and you can trigger this again in the future. And even regardless of if you have access to the AI module or not, every single plan has access to this company intelligence and to this wizard to generate content strategies. So don't miss out. Just try it out with your own company or with your clients' companies, and then see what you get as results. So that was one of the points that we wanted to discuss today, but there is something else. If we go back to the power mode, we also have the chat with assistant. Basically, we can ask pretty much everything to the AI that we want to know. So what I would suggest now is that we first find some topics to write about with some good keywords that we know they are going to help us rank high. So let's do some keyword research.
Yeah, some ideation. It sounds nice.
Exactly. So let's ask the AI, for example, give me 5 topics, let's say, around unique travel experiences, use the keyword or use, let's say, at 3 keywords that blog articles typically rank high for. So we know they are going to be good keywords. We could also give some context, but in this case, we are not going to do it. We are just going to submit it. And let's see what we come up with. So we get some ideas, for example, exploring hidden gems, cultural immersion, eco-friendly escapes. And then we also see that there are 3 keywords related to each of them. I think the one that I like the most is eco-friendly escapes.
Yeah,
maybe.
sure.
Sounds good. And let's get maybe sustainable tourism as keywords. So I'm just going to copy it for now. And now we are gonna ask the AI to basically generate the content, generate a blog article for us. So we are gonna go back and we are gonna say, generate a blog article around, let's say, eco-friendly travel. Focus on the keyword sustainable tourism, and for example, finish with a compelling call to action. That could be an example, right? In this case, we can also add a context, and maybe it's a good idea to
I
do
think
it.
adding context is always nice. Maybe let's go and look what a competitor wrote about, and let's
So let's look up this keyword and see who we are actually competing with if we decide to publish this this article. So we have some good blog articles in here about what sustainable tourism is and all of that. So maybe we can take one of those and use it as context. So I'm just gonna copy this blog article. I'm gonna go back to StoryShift, enter this URL, and then add it. You can also add one blog article from your own StoryShift account, right? If you have previously created similar content and you just want to really link it to it, you can just do that as well.
Yeah, or a set of writing guides, writing styles.
Exactly. Yeah, that would also be good. And right now we see that the AI has generated a full blog article. It also ends with a nice call to action in here. So it does, it has done what we asked it for. If you want to tweak, if you want to continue making some changes, you can ask the AI here at the bottom, the assistant, to really fine tune it and to keep making changes to it. But for me, it looks good enough. Let's just open it in the article editor.
Yeah, sure.
So right now it just opens the StoryShift editor, right? So here we see the full blog article with a call to action, the way the AI has created it. But the first thing that I would really suggest to do, of course, is adding the keywords to the SEO feature, right? That's the first thing you have to do as soon as you want to write a blog article.
Pick a good keyword, a focus keyword, a keyword that you want to be found by on the search engine, and specifically Google. So let's maybe indeed try to go for sustainable tourism, and we will actually help you identify keywords that work. So for example, let's run this. And one of the features that we have is we're going to look at its competitive potential. So what does that mean is we're going to look, is it at all a good idea to try to rank for this keyword with articles? Exactly. It's all about matching search intent. People that are typing sustainable tourism would want to look for the type of article you're writing about. And usually, you want to pick a keyword where a lot of other articles are also ranking for that keyword so that you can try with your own article to compete. Let's say that this is medium or low. That essentially means that there's a lot of other content types which you probably will never be able to compete with: definitions, Wikipedia, socials, e-commerce.
Content that you don't want to compete with because they are not the same type of content. So people who are looking for that keyword are probably not people who are going to buy your product or your service.
Yeah, or are looking for the information that you're providing. Exactly. And a tip that I have, if this isn't high, for example, in this case it is add words like guide, blog, tips to make sure that it's like article focused.
Add it to the keyword.
To the keyword, exactly.
So if you would have a competitive potential which is low or medium, one tip to make it high is just go back to the keyword and then just say sustainable tourism guides or tips or blog, and that will really improve or increase the competitive potential.
Yeah, exactly. It will make it easier to rank for too.
Perfect. Okay. And what can you tell us about this list of keywords that we have here?
Also a crucial thing for SEO is how comprehensive that your article is. Does it cover all the types of topics that somebody that's looking for this keyword is searching for? The worst thing you can have is if somebody clicks on your article, is searching for a piece of information, can't find it and go back. And this feature is designed to make sure that that doesn't happen, to make sure that you got all your topics covered. And that's exactly what we do. We're actually going to look at the top articles that are ranking for this keyword and extracting the most important topics. So this
if we go to the Google search for this keyword, then
which we've been on,
AI has been screening all these blog articles, all these pages,
and extracting the essentials topics. Exactly. So We do it at Story Chief all the time. We rerun this for our existing articles and we look, okay, are there new things that we can add? And yeah, it just works. We see our ranks increase all the time when we use it. So it's a really neat feature.
Okay, so let's maybe even take an example. So in this case, local communities has already been used, which is great. We see the check. But let's say we want to also include the topic about climate change.
Yeah.
It's also a very important one. It also has a high interest. So we can actually use the AI to write about this, right? So let's say we go at the end of the blog article, we open the AI, and then we say, add a paragraph about climate change, like this. So now we submit it, and then the AI will just create, you know, a piece of text that will have some information about this climate change.
Yeah. And it will fit seamlessly into your existing article, and it will take the context of your other article into consideration.
It also includes the headers as you have before. So we can just insert it, and then that's it. It was really easy to do, right?
And the check is a check.
And the check is there. Exactly. So yeah, that's a really great way to improve your article, make sure that it's as complete as possible, because that's what Google really likes. And once you publish this, Google will see that you are covering so many topics that are also relevant to others, that it will place you probably way higher in Google search results just because of that, because you are covering really a lot of good topics that are important to others. Yeah, perfect. Okay, that was really interesting. Thing next to the keyword recommendations, we also have the SEO basics, which I'm not going to go into detail today, but just so you know that you also need or can follow the tips to make sure that your text is optimized for search engines such as Google. So don't forget this step as well, the same as the readability. And if we go to the settings, here the AI can also help. First of all, we can just also add an image from our media library, but then we can also ask the AI to, for example, enter or create an excerpt, like a small summary. So we just ask the AI to do so, and then within 2 seconds, we have a good excerpt in there.
That was fast.
Yeah, we also have the same for SEO title, for the meta description. So you see that the AI can really support you in many places around the tool. But now that we have this, we have already generated a blog article that pretty much only needs publishing. We can create a social post.
Yeah, why not?
Right? Okay. So we go back. Let's see, we want to create a social post out of this blog article. And we are also going to use AI for that. So we start with the AI. And what do we see here?
Yeah, so it literally copied the title. You can, of course, make little tweaks. And again, extra context. Context is key. It makes everything better and more recent too, if you add recent sources.
Yeah.
But let's maybe keep it as the way it is. Maybe we can change. Also post purpose. That's nice. Maybe let's do a promotional one for this.
Okay.
And you can also change your tone, but we'll move on that later, right?
Yeah, exactly. So now the AI has come up with 4 examples of social posts. We can use all 4 or just select the ones that we want. And we can also use the AI assistant to help us with, you know, making some tweaks. So for example, I want to say, use or take the first and the third one, because these are the ones that I like the most.
Add some examples.
And yeah, exactly. Add a bullet point list with 3 examples, for example. Finish again with a call to action. So we ask the AI to do that for us. And now we see that the social posts that are coming back are indeed the 2 that we requested, the first one and the third one. And for each of them, there are some examples.
Yeah, it's a lot more concrete.
Yeah, it's a call to action as well. So yeah, it looks good. We can also say add emojis to those. You know, you can really ask a few extra things until it's really the way you want to have it. And once this is done, you can select them if you like both or only one. You can save them. And now we are going to view them. So this is the social post editor where we see both social posts. Here we see the content as well. You can, again, tweak it. You can change maybe the layout. But
Let's go multi-channel, right?
yeah, let's indeed go to multi-channel. So I'm just gonna connect a few social media channels like this. So if we go back or down to the tailor section, then we see that we can really tweak them also per channel. You already know that. And I have an idea because we have previously created a brand voice specifically for LinkedIn. So it's LinkedIn optimized.
Yeah, that's what we see our clients do a lot, right? Have different brand voices based on your social media channel. So
exactly.
let's
So
try this.
what we can do is just select the content for LinkedIn and then just open the AI and then say, for example, that I want to change the tone and go into the LinkedIn brand voice that we have created in our company intelligence page. So it will come up with some with a suggestion. You can also try again, you can discard it, and then you can just replace the selection one with another just to make the difference so that you don't have to like delete and copy paste. You can do the same for other channels, right? Typically, LinkedIn is a little bit more professional, formal.
Pompous,
So,
yeah.
exactly. So you might want to tweak it a little bit more, but this you could do the same for Facebook and X. For example, for X, you can actually also make it shorter, right? Because it has way too many characters. So you can say, for example, make it shorter. And hopefully it will already fit into the number of characters that X wants to have.
Yeah, I think this one does.
Exactly. So like this, for example, and then you would have your social post ready.
Yeah.
So these are some examples that you can use to generate your content and your content strategy with AI. We've made an example for a blog article and also for a social post, but you can do the same for all the other content types, such as newsletters, web pages, ebooks, all of that. So the AI is available throughout the platform as well. And then we had promised a sneak peek, right?
Yeah, but good demo, Carmen.
Yeah,
Nice.
thank you. Same for you, right?
Yeah, well,
your first webinar.
Yeah, my first webinar.
Perfect.
Okay.
Let's go back to the presentation, and then let's talk about what is coming.
Yeah, so the recommendation boards essentially will proactively look at your data, look how your content is performing, what type of content you're writing, and will suggest what to do next, ordered on impact. Maximizing for impact, what I mean with that is do the things that will probably give you the most traffic and most clicks and impressions. And it can go many ways. It can be, okay, updating decaying content or looking at content where that doesn't get clicked on enough and optimizing your title and your SERP description, things like that. So updating existing content, but also creating new content in your brand voice with ideas that fit you as a business. So really proactively say, okay, if I was you, these are the next things that you should do. And it's all based on your actual data. It's based on how you are performing in the search results, how many views you're getting on your articles and all that stuff.
That's why it's very important, and thanks for that. It's very important that you connect your Google Search Console account to your StoryShift workspace. This integration is for free, doesn't require any development, any setup. You just need to click on the Insights module at the top left, and then you will see the button to connect to Google Search Console, and you will immediately start seeing all the data coming in. And the data that we receive from your website, plus the AI, will really make the magic to give you some recommendations on how you can improve your content or create new content, to avoid that you have to do that yourself.
Yeah, and you can already now see some really nice insights, not proactive, but that you can look up yourself in the Google Search Console.
Yeah, if you connect it now already, the day that the recommendations board will be launched, then you will already immediately see all these boards and all these tasks coming in, right?
Yeah.
And now the big question, PJ, when is this new feature gonna be released?
Yeah, well, I hope my product manager will not kill me, but likely I would say, yeah, definitely in the summer. So I would say like in a month and a half, something like that.
Okay, but that's good. It's around the corner, right?
Yeah,
Just on holiday, and when we come back, it's already available.
Oh yes, definitely.
Hopefully. Perfect. Okay, that was really interesting. So what we have learned today is how AI can really help you set up your content strategy and really help you optimize your content, create content, help you create or research keywords, see what the competitors are also writing about, all this stuff, which is really interesting and nearly impossible to do by a human. So we need extra technology for that. And if you don't have access to the AI Power Mode module yet, and you are interested, just let us know. You can reach out to me through email or through the chat, and we can also we can activate a free trial so that you can already test how the creation of content can work for your company or for your clients' companies. If you already have AI enabled and you aren't using it in the way we explained, don't waste any time, just go straight away to test it out.
Yeah, cool.
Perfect. Let's have a look at...
Yeah, we have some time for questions.
Yeah, we have a few minutes, so let me just open the questions where they are. So there is one question here that says, isn't that meta description way too long? Yeah, I think I know what you mean. So let
Yeah,
me
it was a little too long.
Yeah, let me go back to the article, which was this one. Indeed, so there is a reason for that, but then maybe PJ can also elaborate more. Basically, the meta description that we use.
Well, it was an excerpt, right? It wasn't a meta description. Yeah.
So basically, by default, the system is going to take the excerpt.
Yeah.
But you can rewrite it. Using AI or not, that's up to you. You can also just take a piece of it, for example, to make it a little bit shorter. But indeed, the AI only creates the excerpts, and then we just use it as a meta description as well.
But you can also generate it with AI, right?
Exactly.
The meta descriptions specifically.
We can also do it like this. And then it will be a little bit shorter.
It's a little further, still maybe a little long, but shorter.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was a really good remark, but that's the reason is because it takes it from the excerpt, if that makes sense to you. If you still have questions about this, just let us know, right? Okay. Some other questions. Here I see also a question. Thank you. Perfect. Here I also see a question. Do you think that big search engines will undertake even more actions to punish AI-generated content in search results?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think if you especially look at things like the recent Google search algorithm leak and all of the secret information that came out there, and look at the official statements of Google, they always say, look, we're only going to promote quality content that makes a difference, that explains things, that is good, that has the human, that is like personalized. Then we're going to promote that content. It's all about good content, no matter where it's been generated. So as long as you make sure that the content you generate by AI has extra sources of information, isn't generic, isn't like all the other content that is generated around the same subject, then you're good, right? So
if it's unique,
exactly, and that's
if it's useful,
and that's exactly what we're trying to do with the AI Power Mode, is make it custom, make it tap into other sources. So if you use that as like an assistant and then even add a little bit of top, it definitely should never be a problem. And I think that Google also knows that and accepts that truth. And,
okay, but that's that's good to know, right?
Yeah.
That we won't be punished for doing this. Perfect. And then we also have another question in there. How does the AI deal with generating content for British English and, for example, American English?
Yeah. Well, usually I think it's going to write in American English, right? Because it's all a lot of American English text. But I think the brand voice that we previously showed is a perfect example for this. If you want to make sure that the content that is generated is in a specific language and is in a specific dialect of that language, so to say.
So it would be here, for example, in the voice characteristics that we can define.
Yeah, you just say British English, Canadian English, whatever, and it will make sure that it uses lingo from that language. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, that's good to know. Are there any other questions? Not for now. We are gonna wait one more minute to see if there are new questions coming in. Otherwise, if you come up with questions later today or in the next days, don't hesitate to reach out to us through the chat or through me, through my email. And we will ask PJ, right? He knows everything around AI. He has answers for everything.
I'll stay up to answer your questions, Carmen.
Sure you will, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, we really hope that you enjoyed the webinar, that it proves to bring value to your company as well. Just let us know what your thoughts are, right? If you have run this company intelligence and you like it or you don't like it, or you would like to make any improvements there, just let us know. As PJ said in the beginning, we are always improving the technology. We are always receiving feedback from clients that help us improve the technology and the rest of the tool. So it's, just don't hesitate to send it over. Okay. I think we can stop it for now. But yeah, really thanks a lot for attending today. We will send the recording probably today or tomorrow. And again, if you have any questions, please let us know.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah, bye-bye.